opened your doors and the customers just started flowing in? How did that work out?
Absolutely. That's it. Hung a shingle and they all showed up. It was great. No, we started off actually not in this space that we sit in, but same building, just a little bit down the way here. And we were already kind of immersed in the community, so we knew a lot of people, and so we did get a good running start when we first opened our doors. So there were already people on the schedule and things like that. We did some promoting before we opened our doors, just letting know, all right, here we go. We're going to be in a different space. Here's where we're going to be. This is how you can find us. But truthfully, our practice really grew on the back of the community, which was word of mouth. Mm-hmm. People sharing their experiences in our office and, being willing to go out and tell their friends and family about it and say, hey, you need to go check these people out. They're doing something different.
So when you say that, and I'm all about being different, being the difference, but you hear so many people say, it's my customer experience, that's what makes me different. How do you practice that? Like, what is your, how are you actually different?
I think for one of the main things for us, we've been called the Disney of Chiropractic.
That's great.
and it doesn't start and stop with me. It starts and stops with the whole crew, right? So everybody has to be on board with it, but giving them a positive experience. You never know what somebody's day has been like, right? So they might be celebrating a promotion at work. Mm-hmm. They might be mourning the loss of a family member. Mm-hmm. We have no idea when they walk in the door, but when they walk in the door, it's positive energy. They're being greeted with a smile. They're being sent off with a smile. Their whole visit during the adjustment process is upbeat and happy. There's been times where we've shared hugs and things like that with patients, and there's tears because there's something not right in their world. We're there for that. So we really people aren't a number here. Right, they're a person, they're part of our family, so you're joining our practice, you're joining our family, not just, hey, thanks for coming in so I can make a buck or, buy a boat, which I don't have a boat, but,
But a boat would be nice.
Yeah. But it's one of those, that's really kind of how we treat people, as we treat them as if they're part of our family. When we sit down with a new patient, when they come in here filling out forms or they're back getting an exam, it's not a number. Like I said, it is, I visualize sitting across from my dad, my brother, my mom. I know that we can help you out, and this is the process that we need to take you through to get you from point A to point B so you can have a better, healthier lifestyle.
Our goal is always, when they come in the doors, that they have a better day just because they walked in our door.
That's
and
so cool.
Every business should be like that to me. And I go into a business and they barely want to look at you or ignore you, or that you're bothering them because you're in there and you're like, oh, I don't even want to be here, right?
Yeah.
So I would love just imagine a world where our whole day was like that, where everywhere you went, it was celebrated that you walked in the door, that they knew your name, that they knew you had an event that week in your life or whatever. And I just think we believe that that's how it should be everywhere you go. So that's what makes us different. That's why we're different, because we're real and we care. And
at the end of the day, it's people.
It's people.
Right.
It's
I think a lot of times we
loving
forget that,
people.
especially in sales or as you're trying to make money. It can be easy to forget that it's just we're dealing with other people.
Yeah.
We're dealing with moms and dads and brothers and grandmas and.
Got it.
Yeah, and one of my favorite quotes that I have is from B.J. Palmer, who is the son of the guy who created chiropractic care. He said, you will never know, how does it go? The things that you think, say, and do today, you never know how they will affect the lives of millions tomorrow. So just that ripple effect of, just for, somebody might be having a crummy day in here, and they come in and have a great positive experience and they go home, and that changes how they treat their spouse. That changes how they treat their kids, changes how they treat their dog, right? So there's an effect that happens well outside of this office. And I think that's why people are so willing always to refer in, because they feel better when they leave and they're having a better day or a better week or whatever the case may be.
It has nothing to do with the adjustment.
Right. And
that helps, I'm sure. But
adjustment. But I had this kind of epiphany one day, probably 2 or 3 years ago, and this is after being in practice for a dozen years. where I was just listening to my team up front is just amazing. I'll put that out there. They're phenomenal ladies, and they do a wonderful job bringing people up and taking good care of them. And we were just having a rocking day in the office, and I adjusted somebody, and I had just a moment of downtime, and I heard the experience going on up front as they were leaving. And I thought to myself, I was like, man, the adjustment doesn't start and stop with me. The adjustment starts as soon as they walk through the door, the first person they talk to. The adjustment continues as they're walking out the door. Just the experience that they're having and being lifted up and positive energy being put on them. And that was kind of a neat moment for me. I was like, wow, the adjustment itself is the whole experience.
You're also adjusting attitudes.
Yeah.
Mindset.
Mindset.
Yeah.
It is cool being in retail for years, just dealing with people coming in and seeing the bad days, seeing, I've had people that were taking it out on me and instead of being offended, I just kind of worked through it. And then at the end of the conversation, they're like, I'm so sorry, it's been a tough day. I put my mom in a nursing home today and it's been really tough. And my phone breaking was the straw that broke the camel's back, right? And so I needed someone to take it out on. Unfortunately, that was, it's just one of those things you have no idea what people are dealing with.
You don't.
Until you talk to them.
Yeah.
And then when you talk to them and you reach into their soul and you treat them like a person and you're caring and you're empathetic.
They open up.
Because how many chiropractors are there in the area?
Quite a few.
How many of them actually do that?
I don't know.
It's very, I don't know either.
Enough.
But 10%?
Yeah. But, in any industry, for that matter.
Any industry,
Any industry, absolutely.
Yep.
You treat people like people and you're going to build a business of any kind.
You guys talked about you were in a smaller location before.
Mm-hmm.
What brought you into this location?
Necessity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 5 years ago, maybe a little over 5 years ago now, I hired Dr. Bailey, and because I was just kind of at max capacity for myself. I was like, I don't know how many more people I can take care of and take care of well. So I didn't want the patient experience to suffer and them not to get the best care that they possibly can get. So it was a point where, okay, we need help. So I brought him on board, and he started to take off and grow a practice inside of our practice as well. So truth be told, we plain old ran out of space. There wasn't enough room for people to sit, and it's getting that way again now. So I don't know what I'm going to do now, but we really didn't have place for
just buy the building,
and wait, right? So it was really just based on necessity. We started tripping over each other and didn't have enough room. So I bought the building, and this was an empty space. So we slid over here, and it gave us about another 1,000 square feet. So when we moved over, it was like, wow, this is awesome. This is huge. And
we'll never fill it.
Right.
And slowly but surely, we started filling it back up. And sometimes there's standing room only out here. And then we brought in Dr. Maria Lyons. She's been with us for about a little over 5 months now. So she's helping to alleviate some of that and help to keep the folks moving through in a timely fashion so they're not waiting around all day. But it was really born out of necessity. We just ran out of room.
I really wanted to highlight that because that's one of the good problems, one of the problems we want to have. How are we going to get more people in here? But it comes out of everything that we've just talked about. Being the Disneyland of experiences, really getting to know your people, creating this culture. Those are the results.
Yeah.
That's what happens. You have max capacity and you keep outgrowing your space because the bigger you get, the more people you can fit in here.
Yeah. And
the more people that you fit in here, the more people that are going to go tell other people, the more you're going to continue to grow.
Exactly.
And so for the businesses out there, out of everything, let me ask you this, because I think that a lot of people that are dealing with people, they think that it can be trouble, challenging, and you're dealing with all these problems and it can be a headache. Does it hurt to be nice to people?
No.
Does it hurt to do this? Is this an act? Is this an act? Is it?
No, never.
You know what? I don't know. Nothing warms my heart more or makes me feel better than when I hear our team filling someone's life with blessings and just blessing them by being a space where they can come and have someone be nice to them for the day, so no, it doesn't hurt, that's for sure, and it's awesome.